Ladies and gentlemen, it is the homemade broadcast. It is the 9th of January, 2024. Boom. Still nailed it. You know, I think I was talking smack about how I was one of the only ones who didn't mess up on the date. And I'm pretty sure in my last video, I started off strong and then referenced 2023. So, hey, stuff happens. What can you say? Tonight, I'm drinking. My bourbon shelf is clear. I'm moving. This might be a little more echoey than usual. I'm not sure. I still got the sign up. I'm kind of surprised that's still here, but it's extra, a lot of extra sound bouncing around in here. My bourbon shelf is gone. I don't know if I ever showed this to you. Let me, if you're listening and watching on YouTube, willsyoutube.com. Nope, wrong way. That's where it was. Got a few bottles up there. But clearing out, baby, going to new places, new experiences, new things. But tonight I'm drinking Eagle Rare Buffalo Trace product. It's a goodie. It's nothing wrong with it. It's a great. If this could be my everyday pour, I'd be absolutely enthused about that, and also drunk all the time. So it's probably good that it's not. But that's what I'm drinking tonight, and yeah, just kind of flustered, trying to get into the flux, trying to get in, get out, and literally in some cases. And I got a bunch of messages this morning about the morning show on the Bone, talking about my departure and how it wasn't a smart move. And I listened to the clip of the day because I guess Mo and Spike had a fight. I did listen to it. I texted some of my thoughts to a few people involved in that whole thing. You see, there's a lot of angles to things, and oftentimes people don't know the whole story for certain things, and they kind of just look at them superficially, which that's what people do. That's what I do on this podcast when I talk about serious issues and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Nobody knows what they're talking about. And anyway, so I did hear that. Thank you to those of you that reached out. Thank you for the comments. Nice. Well, not, it depends on who's reading the comments, if they're nice or not. But I've gotten some messages, some comments about missing me. And I'm right here. I'm right here, baby. willsyoutube.com. That was one of the things that Mike says. Now I'm just kind of stuck with this podcast. Doesn't know what the listenership is like. And he's not wrong. He's definitely not wrong. But no regrets. That's all I can tell you. Anyway, I'm back. I'm here. Sorry I missed yesterday. Like I said, just getting caught up moving stuff. Once I get I can multitask, but once I get my sights on just a thing, I tend to like to just get that thing done. And when it's something like moving, I've lived in St. Petersburg, I think, for 17 years now. And I think I've moved 4 times in that whole experience, which is weird because a lot of people just move year to year. A lot of people like moving. I do not like moving. It is a good time to get rid of everything. And I think I'll save this to talk about with Anna tomorrow, but just purging stuff, finding stuff, and just going, I had no idea this existed. I should keep this. And going, no, just throw it away. You didn't know you had it. Not throw it away, but donate it. So take it somewhere and, ask other people if they want it, whatever you choose to do. But yeah, it's been a lot of just purging, getting rid of stuff, getting ready to get into my new spot and get the studio set up, and just wanting to get that done as soon as possible so I can start 2024 off fresh. I do have to the end of the month in this place, and it's bittersweet, moving, because this place it's been my little cave. I still got to do the video. Is that boring? Does anybody want to see that? Going through, it would be a short video because it's a very small spot. How I was living, leave comments below if you would like to see that. If I get a few people who are like, yeah, sure, I'll check that out, then I'll make the video. If not, I'm not going to do it because it might be boring. But I did post, I'm trying not to post on Twitter at all just because I'd rather just talk about stuff here. But I did see an interesting graph online, and it was from the Harvard Crimson, and they did a poll about people who are seeking mental health treatment at Harvard, and it was shocking. Actually, let me just pull that up. Should have done it before. See, this is what happens when you're your own producer. You get I get off on tangents and I just forget to do things. But I saw this graph today. Let's pull it up, share this tab instead. We're going to talk about Jimmy Kimmel here in a second. Harvard's mental health epidemic, share of freshmen who have received mental health counseling. Look at this, 2017, what is that, 12% up there? In 2024, it's doubled. It's close to 30%, and then they're projecting it to go well up to a third of the class. And I made just a simple statement of, not only are our future leaders mostly unimpressive, many are mentally ill. This is not good because, as we know, leadership, places in government and in these corporations, and sometimes I repeat myself, they're exactly the same, come from these institutions. And this is Harvard, but I'm sure if you took the same test over at Yale and Brown and all these other places, they would be pretty much the same. There seems to be some sort of trend here, and a trend is going up. How much of this is fashion, I wonder? There's some sort of clout, particularly online and some groups, of saying that you're dealing with mental health. Number one, to shield yourself from criticism. I talked about briefly how Ricky Smiley was saying that in response to Cat Williams on his show, where he said, I lost my son a year ago, which is obviously terrible, and he's going through mental health things. Be careful what you say to me. Well, I mean, you can't just use mental health as a shield, but many people do. So I wonder if that has to do with a lot, because obviously we're in a pretty heated, contested time right now. We're in our culture, and if you have a get out of criticism free card, why not use it? So I wonder how much of it is fashion, how much of it is that, I don't know, just that way of doing it, or how many people are mentally ill, because I think there's a lot of those too. And I got some pushback in the comments. A few people commented about how, you shouldn't shame people for seeking mental health treatment. And of course, I would never do that. I've dealt with my own mental health problems as a kid, and it runs in my family, it runs in everybody's family. And so I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar with mental health, and I know it can be debilitating and kind of a crippling affliction that people deal with. So I would never shame anybody for getting help with that. However, I wonder how effective the help is, because a lot of the people who are treating them went to Harvard and are mentally ill that are doctors. So it could be a kind of a vicious cycle there. But not all of them. I know there's good, medical professionals out there, people who want to help. You go in and say you're sad, and then all of a sudden you don't have a dong anymore. Maybe that's why you're sad. But I'm being facetious. But no, I would never shame anybody for getting help. However, maybe you shouldn't be in a leadership position. I don't know. Like, if you're mentally ill, should you be telling other people what to do? You might not be of sound mind to do so. And then the retort was, well, if that's the case, then nobody can be leaders, because, this is just midwit, banter, because everybody deals with mental health. Okay, sounds good to me. No leaders is kind of what I'm kind of gunning after here. So don't threaten me with a good time, but also, no, that's just false. And just going through a range of human emotions of being sad for a period of time is not battling mental health. There's a lot of people with a great outlook and have never struggled with these things. So, well, it depends, because, you're playing semantical games here. And if you're sad for a period of 2 weeks, then you're classified as depressed, and then you have mental health issues. So yeah, technically you might be right, but you're wrong. Okay. So anyway, I don't know. That's just a small tangent. I want to talk about Jimmy Kimmel and Aaron Rodgers here. This is a very politicized battle. You can kind of whose side you're kind of on in this whole thing. So something that's been going on for a long time now with these two. If you're more of a Jimmy fan, you probably voted for Joe Biden. And if you are on team Aaron Rodgers, you're going to vote for the red guy, whoever that is, whether it be, Commander Trump or, General DeSanto, like whatever. You're probably on team Aaron Rodgers here. Probably. Now, there's always outliers to everything. Maybe you're a Robert Kennedy fan too. You could be a Robert Kennedy fan and also be on Aaron Rodgers. And Robert Kennedy is designated as a Democrat as of right now, but he may switch to independent. But it's just interesting, these little battles. Like, there's certain tells that you can figure out where people are at. If they have a coexist sticker on their car, you know that they're voting blue. If they have back to blue, there's just little symbols, that's why these symbols are important. They say a lot. And that's why it's interesting that a lot of symbols are now banned and barred, and statues are being burned, because these things mean they're little symbolic victories in the political warfare camp, and those symbols are important. But that's a whole other discussion. Jimmy Kimmel, Aaron Rodgers. Jimmy does not like Aaron, and in his late show monologue, Kimmel addressed comments from the former Green Bay Packers and current New York Jets star made during his appearance on the Pat McAfee Show, in which the quarterback insinuated that Kimmel would be named at Jeffrey Epstein's client list. I heard that comment and kind of thought it was more tongue-in-cheek, that it was more of a joke. But honestly, would you have been surprised? Stephen Hawking was on Jeffrey Epstein's list. Are you going to be surprised if a major Hollywood celebrity, Heidi Klum, got named today, that she took the plane? I don't know what she was doing. Not Seal. Seal wasn't there. So who was the good guy in that relationship? Heidi Klum was there. What did I just say? Who got named? Heidi Klum. Oh, Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking. That's a weird one. The guy that was in a wheelchair, the scientist. No, Jimmy Kimmel, though. Jimmy Kimmel was not named in these documents. Maybe down the line. I don't know. Maybe. But anyway, he got kind of pissed off about that, which I understand. It was kind of like a nudging, a needling kind of comment, though. I didn't really find it completely out of line or anything. I guess it is a big accusation, but Jimmy Kimmel is a dick. Jimmy Kimmel has been this crying out in pain while they strike you mentality that a lot of these people do, who may also be getting mental health treatment and are, barred from being criticized. I don't know if that's the case with Jimmy, but Jimmy's a dick. He says crazy stuff all the time, really incendiary stuff against people that he doesn't like, who probably have a back to blue sticker on their car, have these little symbols. But he's a product, like he's in that world. So I don't watch Jimmy Kimmel. Who cares what Jimmy Kimmel has to say? A lot of people do. Some people do. I used to be a big fan of Jimmy Kimmel. I think he did great work on, he was in Tampa radio for a long time. He, did what he needed to do. I got a lot of pushback on that video, that little clip I did of Taylor Swift insinuating that she had to give somebody a mouth hug to succeed, which I'm not convinced she didn't. I'm not convinced that Jimmy Kimmel didn't either. Jimmy Kimmel played the game. He sucked on what he needed to suck on, and he got this show, and he gets $10 million a year or whatever it is. Like, he's a good sucker. That's really what I can say, and I'm happy for him. Like, he seems to be doing well. We wish him well. He's doing well. He's got $10 million a year, and he's got to sit in that shower and sit on the floor and kind of get in the fetal position and let the water flow over him at the end of the night. But 10 milli, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. I don't know. It's tough. I would like to think I would not. But if a shadowy figure came out with a briefcase and said, here's $10 million, we're going to give you a show, you just got to suck it, I might be sucking it. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, he got pissed off at Aaron Rodgers for making this comment, and he didn't like it. He's a comedian, but he didn't like the tongue in cheek. He just took it as serious that he was accusing him of being on that list. He said Kimmel was not having any of that. He said, I'm one of those people that thinks athletes and member of the sports media should stick to talking sports. Kimmel said on his Monday monologue, I think Aaron Rodgers has the right to express any opinion that he wants to, but saying someone is a pedophile is not an opinion, nor is it trash talk. Sorry, Pat McAfee. Well, if it's a joke, it could literally be a joke, or needling, or it's not to just take the context out of it and say that he's accusing me of being a pedophile. Yeah, kind of. But also there was, I wonder if I can find a clip. I should have pulled this clip. It's too late now. I'm not going to look for it and waste your time. Find it on your own time. You can find it. They laughed afterwards. So there was it it wasn't like, oh my kind of serious comment. He's a dick. Jimmy Kimmel's a dick. Okay. He took shots at Rodgers' intelligence, claiming that Rodgers' ego and arrogance make him feel like he's an expert on topics that he knows nothing about. Okay, Aaron Rodgers is a football player. Jimmy Kimmel is a TV host, and he seems to talk a lot about these topics as well. So which one is better? I mean, again, apples and oranges here. I'm just as suited to take a football player's point of view on very serious topics as I am a TV host. What? You dick? Do you not see that? Well, I'm getting my opinion. Let's play this. This is a short clip of Jimmy Kimmel from Emmanuel Acho. And he says he schooled Aaron Rodgers on this, okay?
A guy who went to community college, then got into Cal on a football scholarship and didn't graduate, someone who never spent a minute studying the human body, is an expert in the field of immunology. He just put on a magic helmet, and that G made him a genius.
Why are they laughing at that? It's just him in his uniform. The G made him a genius?
Aaron got 2 A's on his...
This is how dumb the midwittery that goes on in Normieville.
report card. They were both in the word Aaron, okay?
Okay. Funny stuff from Jimbo. Pretty good. Again, dude, you're a late night TV host who talks a lot about the human body and what it can do. Same thing. If this isn't the what is it the saying? The pot calling the kettle black. I don't even know if you can say that. It might be racist. I don't know. Sorry if it is. It's an old saying. Dude, Aaron and Jimmy, for that matter. Here's what I will say. They're both getting their talking points from credentialed individuals. Okay. Jimmy's talking to kind of these government, CDC. He's interviewed Fauci. He's talked to people who are credible, or were at one point, depending on what circles you run in. Aaron's not just like making this up. He's talking to doctors too. There's no settled science, no matter what they tell you on this stuff. There's arguments, there's debate. You could talk to Jay Bhattacharya from Stanford, who is very much against the masking. And, our Surgeon General here in Florida has stopped the use of the mRNA vaccines. Another Stanford guy. These aren't dumb. These are doctors. These are qualified individuals. Just because you disagree with them, he's not making this up. And I don't think Jimmy is either. But what are you talking about? You clown? You dick? Jimmy Kimmel is a dick. This is the guy who said that people who didn't get the vaccine should be denied hospital beds. So you're a dick, dude. Sorry, you say crazy things and then get shocked when people slap you back verbally. You might be on the plane too. I'm not convinced that you're not. Aaron Rodgers might be. I don't know. Here's Aaron Rodgers on kind of retorting what Jimmy Kimmel said here on the Pat McAfee Show.
Then we fast forward to this last week, right? And I said that a lot of people, and I'm quoting myself here, a lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't come out. End quote. That's what I said. That's the entire quote. Okay. I was referring to the fact that if there is a list, which again, this hasn't come out yet, this was just a deposition, right? And there are names on it, then that would be the second time that a soft brain junior college student, wacko, anti-vax, anti-Semite, purveyor, spreader of misinformation, conspiracy theorist, MAGA, whatever other things have been said by him and other people in the media would be right twice. Now, let me just say that is the truth, number one. Number two, I totally understand how serious an allegation of pedophilia would be. So for him to be upset about that, I get it. Did you watch the quote? Because that's exactly what I said. Verbatim what I said on the show. Okay. I'm not stupid enough, even though you think I'm an idiot, and you made a lot of comments about my intelligence, but I'm not stupid enough to accuse you of that with absolutely zero evidence, concrete evidence. That's ridiculous. So I'm glad, and I think we can agree on something, is that one, those crimes are heinous, and two, I'm glad you're on the list, because those who are on the list, and this is what I think we can agree on, that at minimum there should be an inquiry into their involvement, especially if they went to the island, and at maximum there should be an investigation into it. So I hope that you'll give the same type of energy to these heinous crimes when they do come out, and the names do come out, and there is an inquiry into it, that you gave to other subjects that I actually mentioned that you spent a lot of time working on. So I'd like to put this to bed, to move forward. I don't understand, to just finish this up. I do understand. But I don't understand a Mike Voss comment, because he didn't help out either.
So Mike Voss, this is why Pat McAfee is covering his face now, is an ESPN executive, and Pat is with ESPN now, so he's probably like, oh God. I think Pat's trying to get out of there, though. It sounds like. I don't know. Well, wait a minute. I should say I do know. In an unlikely scenario where one of these networks were to approach me and gave me a chunk of money, would I take it? Yeah, probably. But I just feel like Pat is such a big name now. I don't know why he signed with ESPN of all places. But I mean, this is getting out over the air. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Pat gets the boot here. I mean, he's got a contract, so I don't know. I'm assuming he's got lawyers too, but this is why Pat McAfee is freaking out.
And I'm going to quote Mike Voss. He said, Aaron made a dumb and factually incorrect joke about Jimmy Kimmel. It should never have happened. We all realized that in the moment.
Also, ABC owns ESPN. So keep that in mind. And ABC is home to Jimmy Kimmel Live, whatever it's called.
Mike, you're not helping. You're not helping, because I just read earlier exactly what I said. So, and this is the game plan of the media. And this is what they do. They try and cancel. And it's not just me. It's nowhere near just me. I mean, if you look at all the different people who've been censored from the internet especially during COVID, the canceling that went on, the censorship, using the government to try and censor people, that happened. And if that doesn't work, then they go to name calling. I mentioned a lot of the names that I've been called, and they don't stick, because I'm not anti-vax. I'm interested in informed consent and things that are in the best interest of my body. I'm not a MAGA. I've never had any affiliation with anybody associated with that movement.
So that's if you're at all skeptical of that particular vaccine, you get labeled as a anti-vaxxer, which has been the game plan from day one, because they wanted to get this thing in people's bodies as soon as they could. And the other accusation is being a Donald Trump supporter. Donald Trump is the biggest advocate of the vaccine. It's arguably his biggest accomplishment. He touts it as a big accomplishment. So that's kind of his baby there. I know that, the media narrative has been that it's been Biden's thing, but remember Kamala Harris on the debate stage in 2019, I guess, or 2020 said, I'm not taking that thing. And then as soon as they, attained that power, they went, oh yeah, no, I'm taking it. It's good. So, and then it kind of became, Biden's deal. So that's an interesting kind of switch that was flipped.
Right. Which is okay if you are, though. Like, there's different opinions all over the place. Right. If you're that's your ideology, that's fine. I'm not a super political person. Okay. Do whatever you want. Conspiracy theorists, that's fine. Because if you look at the track record of conspiracy theorists in the last few years, they've been right about a lot of things. So I don't care about that one. Anti-Semite, that was called. I mean, that's just like, this is their game plan. They use these words to cancel people, and they went and ran with this because it's the crazy.
It doesn't work anymore either. They kind of, once it gets overused, it loses its effectiveness. It still does work, and it's that those accusations are still leveled against people, but it doesn't have the same punch that it did, 5-10 years ago.
The anti-vaxxer wacko again, talking about, accusing somebody of being a pedophile. Like, of course, this is the game plan that they use. Incorrect, but that's the environment that we're in. there's a lot of people who have been captured by various, entities, government entities, whether we're talking about pharmaceutical industrial complex or whether we're talking about believing that the government has a best interest in mind and we're puppeting, various narratives. In the end, if you are not someone whose opinion aligns with the mainstream narrative, this is what they're going to do with you. And it's not me. I'm not a victim. I don't give a shit. Say whatever the hell you want about me. That's fine. Like the people that know me and love me, you know what I'm all about. My teammates know what I'm all about. I don't have,
I've never teammate, by the way. Congratulations. Won an award in the middle of this whole thing from your teammates. Prima donna, obviously.
Some people puked because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw a guy cry.
But listen.
Saw a guy cry because you were named the most inspirational teammate.
Should we say
that was not like joy,
listen,
tears of joy.
I still, in the end, to sum this up, listen, I still haven't popped a bottle because there hasn't been any list that's come out. And I'm glad that Jimmy is not on the list. I really am. And
yet, Aaron,
don't think he's the P word.
He is a P word, but maybe not the P word.
And I think it's impressive that a man who went to Arizona State and has 10 joke writers can read off a prompter. So, my education at JUCO and my 3 semesters at Cal that I'm very proud of has worked out for me, and I'm glad to see it's worked out for him as well. So I wish him the best. Again, I don't give a shit what he says about me.
Phenomenal. Well, there you go. The feud continues. Jimmy Kimmel is a dick. Let's not forget that. And he is doing great. So Aaron, I don't think Aaron's a dick, but I think some people would say that he's a dick and he's doing great. Nobody's canceled. I think they canceled whoever they want to cancel now. And we're in a new epoch with the canceling thing. Louis back online doing his thing, making more money than ever. Who's canceled, really? Shane Gillis got canceled from Saturday Night Live, and now he's doing better than ever with his stuff. So it's like a Streisand effect, kind of, if you're canceled. So maybe I'll get canceled. And what's that executive name from ESPN? I already forgot it. That guy will come knocking on my door, maybe, and give me some money. You can give me money if you, if you want to. That's a good. Venmo is just Will Kuntz, my name. If you're enjoying the content, I appreciate it. You're certainly not obligated to, but it's always nice. I did get a holiday one from PayPal from TC Mitts out in Oregon, and I sent him out some stickers. It's a very generous donation that he gave me and a nice note, and I appreciated that very much. So hopefully here's a shout out. Hopefully he gets his stickers in the mail. I do have stickers. Still email me thehomemade_broadcast@gmail.com if you'd like one, or slip into my DMs, Twitter and Instagram, home_made_man, HMB Radio on Facebook, HMBradio.com, willsyoutube.com, and HMB Radio on your favorite podcast app. Text or voicemail 813-693-2124 and thehomemade_broadcast@gmail.com. It's all that down below there, and it'll be in the description if you'd like to get a hold of me. Substack is up. I don't really know what to do with it. I'm putting out videos here. I think we'll do some early releases. We'll do some ad-free. We'll do some stuff like that. So we are getting some ads and some ad inquiries. So that's cool. And if you subscribe to the Substack, it's like $5 a month or something. You can get those ad-free and, earlier. So I'll try to think of some other stuff. You can tip there as well if you want to tip over on Substack if you're there. So I'd encourage you to go check that out. And thank you for doing that. I'll see you back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. with Anna Hummel for a live stream. Look forward to speaking with you then. Have a good night. See you.